Okay, in this video we're going to go over another type of loop that you can use. Actually, I should be in the script file. This loop is called a for loop. We looked at the while loop before, which was while a certain condition is met, run this thing repeatedly. And then there was the do while loop, which would run the thing repeatedly until a certain condition was met. The difference was that one was guaranteed to run at least once, while the other one wasn't guaranteed to run if the condition wasn't met at the start. This other, well, I think if you remember, we saw with that you could move through a sequence of numbers. This next loop is a much, I believe, more common loop, a more regularly used loop, and it is called the for loop. So what we do is we type for. Usually we can define a variable like x is equal to 0. Let's say we initialize it. I'm not sure if you have to declare it here. Normally you don't, but sometimes I run into trouble and I try that. For x is equal to 0, while x is less than 5, I'm sorry, that should be a semicolon, while x is less than 5, and then another semicolon, x plus plus. So what you might see here is a little bit of what we saw before with the while loop or with the do while loop. We had before with one of those loops, we would initialize a variable to 0. We would say while x is less than 5, and then inside of the loop, the thing that gets run over and over again, we would increment the value, so it would increase by 1 every time it made a pass every time it ran this block, which it could do repeatedly. In this case, we type for, and then in parentheses we do all three of those things. We tell it what the variable is, we tell it where to start, we tell it what the breaking condition is, and we tell it how much it should change every time we run through the loop. So in this case I could say console.log x, and if I were to save this and run my site, I'll see in my console here 0, which is what it started with, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has run this 5 times until we got to the value of 5. It checked 5 is not less than 5, so that's when we broke out of the loop. So this is called a for loop. It's very similar to the while and the do while loop, but for a number of reasons it's sort of, I would say, preferred. Now we don't have to, we could say while x is less than 50, and instead of moving by 1, we can move by 10 each time. So we could do that with the plus equals addition assignment operator. And now if I save this and run the site, if you can see this down here, I'm not sure if I can actually, yeah, I guess I can kind of increase the size of, there we go. Maybe that'll help. You guys see this. You can see that my console outputs 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm incrementing by 10, and I stop when I get to 50. Now it doesn't have to land on the nose perfectly. I could increment by 11 and save it and run it. And I'll see that it starts at 0, it outputs that, moves up to 11, then to 22, then to 33, then to 44. When I get to 55, it checks it. 55 is not less than 50, so that's when it breaks. But it actually does get up to 55. So that's a for loop. I hope that makes some sense. And that's probably, again, like I said, you'll probably be using loops in every program that you write. They're probably going to be for loops, or sometimes we have specialized versions like the for each loop, but I would say for is probably, I think, the most common. But anyway, I hope that made sense to you.